This is Never Down, Never Out with T.R. Matson. This podcast is about discipline when motivation fades, resilience when things get hard, and showing up when quitting would be easier. No hype, no shortcuts, just the mindset required to build something real. One day at a time. Let's get into it. Welcome back. Excuse me. Wow. It's a good start this morning. Never down, never out. T.R. Matson. Here we are, episode 59. Tomorrow's the big day, another big milestone, right? 60 episodes tomorrow. Wow. That's crazy. That is so crazy. I'm pumped this morning. Hopefully tomorrow morning I'll be pumped as well. Today's a good one, and it reminded me, there's a post that I put up on Instagram, and I occasionally, post it just as a reminder. But today's, it kind of speaks to it. So today's episode 59, how to reset after a bad day. And the post I'm talking about, it's me talking over a video that I did back when I was flying Hornets. And it's kind of a collage of me, taxiing up to the catapult and launching and joining up and then recovering back on the aircraft carrier. And it's there on Instagram. Like I said, I occasionally repost it, but the talk over what I'm talking about in it is about a conversation I had with somebody, candid conversation I had. And they say how I'm just wired differently. This is a real conversation. I'm not, hopefully by now, if you've been watching, we're almost 2 months into this crazy thing. If you followed me, I'm not BSing. I said from the beginning of doing this, from the beginning of writing Trees in Flight, being authentic is the most important thing to me. Because if you're not authentic, in my opinion, people see right through. And, especially with this podcast, because it was derived from the idea of giving something to my kids, a tool to help them later on in life, how horrible it would be if I just sat here and BS'd them and wasn't authentic. So it's a real conversation I had. And this person was like, man, you're just wired different. You just don't know how to quit. And that made me think of it today, on the reset after a bad day. And it's like, dude, I think about quitting all the time. All the time. And there's bad days. There's days where I don't want to get off the couch. There's days I don't want to get out of bed. There's days where, everything that happens feels like a mountain that you have to climb. That's life. And that happens to me just as much as everybody else. I don't care where you're at in your journey, how old you are, how much money you've earned, what successes or failures you've had. You are going to have to deal with bad days. We all have them. It's just the way it is. And you have to be able to go, you know what? That's not important. Yesterday wasn't a big deal. Recently, we went on a trip with the family, right? And if you hear me on, Mover and Gonky and stuff like that, I got a new truck at the end of last year. It's stupid. I don't need this truck. There's less than 1% of people in the world that need this truck. It's a purpose-built truck. It's a Ford F-150 Raptor R. Nobody needs a 720 horsepower F-150. It is a complete want. I was able to get it for a price I thought would be a good deal, hold the resale value. It was a color I liked, the options I liked, and I was blessed that I could afford it. So I went for it. And I'm also more blessed that I have a wife who supports my car habit. But bear with me here. I'm getting to a point. We went on this road trip. It's the first time we took the whole family on the road trip, right? My son, my daughter, my beautiful wife, and our new puppy, Penny, which you've met. And we get back, the drive, we went up to the mountains, wanted to take the kids skiing. They wanted to learn. I never did stuff like that as a kid because frankly, my parents were working too hard. We didn't have the money. So granted, it's East Coast, North Carolina, not the greatest conditions, but get him a ski lesson, and my 7-year-old and my 3-year-old are able to ski. I mean, they're probably not going to the next Winter Olympics, but maybe down the line. And so we're driving home, and the drive up wasn't bad. We hit some traffic, not tremendously shocking. The drive home was one of those rare instances for anybody who's done a road trip with kids that the time it said when we got in the truck, when we left, and the time I actually pulled in my driveway were within like 5 minutes of each other. Like, we didn't stop. We drove straight through. There was no traffic. I was like, wow, this is insane. Like, we got home early. Wow. And I was unpacking the car, and I realized why my little beautiful puppy was so calm even when she wasn't sleeping. And it's because the seatbelt that held in my daughter's car seat was frayed slightly, because our new dog thought it would be a good idea to chew on that. Here's my new truck, right? And I've got a busted seatbelt now because I don't trust it. It's not that bad, but I wouldn't trust it. And I was upset. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. We just spent this money on vacation. We just did all this stuff. Like, ah. And then I realized the next morning when I woke up, like, dude, you can fix it. You can order a new part. I called up my mechanic. Hey, man, here's what happened. Can you find me a seatbelt OEM? Sure. This is what it's going to cost you. All right, order it. I'll pick it up. I'll put it in. It'll be good. Everything will be fixed. A couple days later, you don't even know the truck ever had a problem because it's just as good as it was when it rolled off the assembly line. So you just have to have those moments. And the reason I tell that story is you just have to have those moments where you're like, dude, this is a bad day or a bad moment or a bad instance or a bad something. But it's not going to dictate where I go from here. And we have to have that perspective. And I think perspective is huge in this. Because if you think of that story, there's a lot of truck people out there that would love to have the problem of having to replace a seatbelt on the truck I own. There's a lot of people out there that are trying to have families that would love to have the problem of being stuck in traffic with 2 children that are healthy in the back seat. There's a lot of people out there in struggling relationships with their significant other that would love my problem of sitting in a truck for 4 to 5 hours, holding my wife's hand as she feeds our children snacks and they sing and sometimes scream at each other. These are good problems. Yet the one instance of having to replace that part threatened to take them all away. So I think one of the things as I get older that I realize is not everything that's happening is the whole world being against me. I'm not on some island where the struggle that I'm going through at the moment is any different than anybody else. Go walk down the street. Everybody you see is going through something. And I think as I've gotten older, I've realized that more. That it's okay. This one's not going to end me. This bad day, this bad moment, this isn't it. I'm not done here because I've got a lifetime. I've got very close to 47 years on this planet of surviving every negative thing that's happened to me. That's a pretty good track record. We've talked about that before, right? Whatever you've been through in the past, you've gotten through. You're still here. You're still breathing. You still have air in your lungs, right? And in that post, I make the analogy of why our lungs and heart are so close together and separate from our mind. And it's because if we have air in our lungs, we still have fire in our heart. And you can't let your mind affect your heart. You gotta listen to your heart and keep going. We are our own worst enemies. We could talk ourselves into or out of anything. We could make mountains out of molehills, right? My son loves saying that now. Mountains out of molehills. We could do that on anything. if we let our minds own us. But we can't. We have to look at it and go, you know what? It's okay. It's okay. It's just a seatbelt, man. It's just a seatbelt. It can be replaced. So as you sit here today, excuse me, as you sit here today and you think about this, try to think back on some bad days you've had in the past. Because we've all had them. It's not hard. Maybe you just had one. Maybe it's been a little while, but think back. And then think about ones that really knocked you down and other ones that you kind of bounce back from. And try to identify the traits in yourself that helped. Because if we can wrap our minds around the fact that we're all going to have bad days, you can't go through life and think you're going to somehow evade the bad days. But if you can understand that when they happen, what you need to do to bounce back from them quicker, then when they happen, you're ready. You're armed, ready to fight. Right? So tomorrow, bad day, man, you're brushing your teeth. Dude, that was rough. It was a bad day. I don't like how I handled this situation. I don't like my discipline. I didn't do the work that I wanted to do today. I'm not proud of the person looking back at me in the mirror tonight. But you know what? I've had these days before, and it's okay. But when I had these days before, this is what I did. And it helped me get out of it. Maybe it's just getting a good night's sleep. Maybe it's making a list of things you need to get done the next morning. Maybe it's setting that alarm an hour earlier and getting that workout in and just knocking it out. Whatever it is, identify what works for you. I know for me, a good workout almost cures anything. Because I'm taking control of my body, I'm taking control of my mind, I'm putting it under a different stress, right? When I'm lifting weights or when I'm doing cardio, rowing, biking, whatever it is, I'm shifting my brain away from the stress of the day, the seatbelt, if you will, for the analogy, and I'm putting it on heavy weights or a hard long row or bike or something like that. And then by the time I'm done, all of a sudden I'm like, wait, what was I worried about? Oh yeah, seatbelt, I gotta find a part, whatever. It just diverts your attention, right? But if we focus so much on the bad and that's all we do, then guess what? Tomorrow's going to be bad. And when things happen tomorrow, there are going to be those mountains. They're not going to be molehills, right? So we're going to look at them and be like, oh, here we go again. First it was a seatbelt, and now my truck's dirty. It's ridiculous. Oh, it needs gas too? Come on. And we just over dramatize. We manifest this negativity when if we could just break the chain, break the cycle, and go, man, it sucks. Spend $300 on a seatbelt. That's annoying. Why did we get this dog? Like, what was I thinking? And then all of a sudden you're like, you know what? I got to go knock my workout out. Let me get this done. And then by the time the workout's done, I'm like, wait, what was I thinking about? Oh, I got a text from my mechanic. Okay, cool. Yeah, order it. I'll pick it up. And you moved on. But our minds are so powerful that if you let it focus on the negative, it's only going to stick around longer. So figure out your positive. Right? So I had to buy a new seatbelt. Who cares? I got a great trip with my family and my kids got to learn how to ski. My 3-year-old is ripping around like the crazy girl we expect her to be. And my son had the confidence to go do it, did really well at it, and supported his little sister. Is that worth a seatbelt? Heck yeah. Every day of the week. Every day of the week. So remember, today, you're going to have bad days. We all have them. You got to figure out you're out. Whatever it is. A checklist for tomorrow, a good hard workout, a good night's sleep, a phone call to a friend, whatever it is that you can break your brain cycle from focusing on the negative and reset. It's just a button in our minds. You hit the reset button, then you got a chance. Hope that helps today. I hope you had a great day. I'll see you tomorrow because tomorrow is episode 60. Crazy. Till then. If this episode helped you, don't just listen, apply it. Progress is built in what you do after the message ends. Remember, never down, never out. I'll see you tomorrow.